Rushing women's syndrome. Do you have it? Did you know there are 7 key factors that you need to understand and master in order to manifest anything in your life? Well, guess what? I'm going to teach it to you. I'm creating a free training that's happening at the end of April. So if you're interested, head on over to momisincontrol.com/join. And the first key factor, I'm going to give you a little heads up right now, is getting super crystal clear on what it is that you want. Yes, I know this can be overwhelming. So guess what? When you join, head on over to momisincontrol.com/join, fill out your name and your email. I'm going to gift you my alignment PDF. This is curriculum taken from my mastery program that I'm gifting you just for registering for this free training. And during the free training that will happen at the end of April, and yes, there will be a replay, I will walk you step by step through the process, what these 7 key factors are, giving you resources and actionable practical steps that you can take today, well, not actually today, but on that day, to take back control of your time and your parenting. The secret here is once you understand how to manifest, you can transfer these skills to any area of your life. So if you're ready to finally stop just listening to the podcast, but start implementing and taking the next step, then head on over to momisincontrol.com/join. It's free. Hey ladies, I'm back. Another day, another podcast. Okay, so I'm recording this as I'm going for a walk. I'm in Huntsville, Ontario, hosting a retreat with my ladies, and I wanted to record today's podcast and talk about this rushing women's syndrome. So this is a book that I found that was referred to me by a woman named Dorit. She has a podcast called Health Begins with Mom. And what I love about this book is it's a very practical way for the modern day woman to understand how stress and chronic to-do list, chronic go, is affecting her biological, mental health. So we've all heard of cortisol, the stress hormone. But did you know that the mental pressure that you put on yourself is actually heightening the cortisol levels, the to-dos, the perfection? Even if you're replacing your coffee with green juice and going to the gym or going to yoga and meditating every day, if you're still beating yourself up as if you're not enough, your cortisol is going to increase, which is why you're not going to lose the weight, which is why you're going to have shitty sleep. And the most uncomfortable thing for people is to realize that this is a process. This is not a one and done. You don't just read a book and your life is perfect. You have to implement. You have to integrate. And more often than that, what I've begun to realize is your body actually needs to start trusting you again. Your body needs to start trusting that you are going to take care of it, that you are going to love it, that you are going to nurture it, that you are going to respect it, that you are going to care for it and give it what it needs. Because too often as women, we're giving to others. We're over-giving. Our cups are cracked. Our cups are empty. And then when you do end up on the spiritual path or personal development path or whatever you want, you start adding other things to your to-do list that you think are healthy. Healthy eating, working out, reading books. But what you don't realize is the mental pressure that you're putting yourself in, and how that is affecting your health. If you're anything like me, which you may or may not, Every time I walked into my naturopath's office and I told her every single symptom I had, she would prescribe me with probably 4 or 5 additional supplements on top of what she prescribed me the week before or the month before. So I would go home $300 later, probably $1,000 in supplements, and I wouldn't take any one because I was overwhelmed. And there was a little part of me that didn't believe that change was possible. And there was a little part of me that if I'm going to have to pay this amount of money to live in physical alignment, it's not worth it. If I'm going to create a codependency on these supplements, what is that going to say to living a healthy, calm, simple life? But what I didn't realize was my body was in a state of crisis. My body wasn't in a state where it could use its own natural healing abilities to support itself because I was overworking it. So, be mindful that there are different stages to the rushing women's syndrome. There are different stages and phases to figuring out who you are. And stage 1 is going to suck. You're not going to like it. It's going to be overwhelming because you're starting to pull the lid off and see everything that you've been hiding. And underneath that, you have to look at all of the shit that you've been avoiding. But the good news is once you do look at all of the shit that you've been avoiding, you can sort it. And when you sort it, then you can work through it. And when you work through it, then you become lighter. So yesterday or a few days ago, I did the rushing women's syndrome test with my ladies. And some people said they had a really high score, and some people said they were really proud of themselves for how they've come down on that score. And what I noticed was the few things that still bother me that I need to continue to work on, but that every single one of the questions, and you can find this online, just Google it, I could have answered yes when I started this process. Life felt so overwhelming. I felt mentally that I had to do everything on my to-do list. So realize, rushing women, it's a syndrome. It's something that we've culturally been taught to become. It's ingrained in us. But you are here and I am here to change that cycle, to change that pattern. And collectively, we can. All right, ladies, you got this. You can totally do this. No, you're not alone. Big Life Journal. Have you heard of them? Are you secretly hoping your children do as you say and not as you do? Well, guess what? I've teamed up with Big Life Journal to help you give your children the tools and strategies that they need to live their big life. Their growth mindset journals empower children to face their challenges head on, think positive, and embrace mistakes. You can also check out their printables and activity cards. It doesn't matter if your child is a toddler or entering high school. Discovering how to live in a growth mindset is a lifelong skill we can all learn more about. To check them out, go to momisincontrol.com/big life and let them know I sent you.